Show you shit that you might not know. Welcome, my friend, to be with you. Guys, welcome back. This is your host, JC. I want to welcome y'all back to the show. I wanted to start off by saying thank you guys for subscribing, liking, and sharing the videos that we post and that I put together. So this is a new year, and like I mentioned before, we're open source. We like a lot of the software that is open source, and what I wanted to do, since I show a lot of videos how to install these server systems and things like that, but I thought since a new Ubuntu support release will be coming out this year, I wanted to kind of start from a basic, have a foundation. So I'm gonna walk through setting up on this one particularly the Ubuntu server. This is the 18.04 release. So we're gonna step through each screen and walk through setting this up. So just so you have an understanding how to basically go through and walk through the process, so it's not all scary and cause terminal looking. So that was my really end game today. So with that being said, let's get started here. I've got my VM loaded up. I'm gonna go ahead. I think I got let me make sure I got my ISO image loaded in there. Okay, here we go. All right, so here we go. Let's load this up and get started. And like I said, this is a basic foundation. I want you all out there that are either just now getting started or getting involved with either some Linux-based operating system. I want you to be able to go through and say, hey, I want to give this a try. I think I might, a lot of people are actually moving away from Windows and trying to transition over to Linux-based operating systems anyway. So this is not for those out there that are very technical. I wanted to walk through and show some basic process of setting things up from point A to point B. All right, so you've got your ISO disk loaded into your machine, whether this is a VM, so whether it's bare metal, this will come up the same way. So this is our main starting point. Right here, this is our language selection screen. Here you're going to choose your preferred language choice. So I'll give you guys a few seconds to go ahead and whatever your language is of choice, you'll go ahead and do that and select that. I'm in the United States, so obviously not obviously, but that's what we speak here. So I'm going to choose English. So we'll give you a few seconds. Okay. And then once you've made your selection, go ahead and hit enter on your keyboard. Alright, so our next screen is our keyboard selection screen. Okay, now this is kind of essentially the same thing. You're going to choose your keyboard layout based on your region of the world. So if you're in a different region, you'll go ahead and select the layout and choose whatever variant that you're looking for. Otherwise, keep everything as the default setting. You don't need to make any changes, and just hit OK for the done selection. Alright, so here on our next screen we have the network connections section. This is where you'll actually configure your network interface. So if you're not familiar with doing any IP, setting up static addresses, don't worry about that. Just leave everything set. It's set at DHCP. So as long as you've got your cable connected, you should be getting an IP address from your router or whatever DHCP server that you got running. So like I said, this is for our basic setup, so leave everything as the default. You can go ahead and click enter on your keyboard, and that'll take us to our next screen. Alright, this is a proxy configuration. So typically in most cases you shouldn't have to set this up unless you're using some type of intermediate proxy to access the internet. So you'd put that proxy address in there, as you can see how it describes below at the bottom there. Otherwise, don't leave it blank and just hit enter. It'll take you to our next screen. Give you a few seconds if you need to put in an address. If you don't, let's hit enter and go. Alright, so this is the default archive mirror that it'll pull the Ubuntu update archive and update repository from. So typically you don't have to change this. It populates it. This is the default location. Sometimes, and it'll typically populate this based on what part of the region of the world you're in. So I'm in the United States, so it's populating with a US archive location. Otherwise, you can remove that and type in an alternative archive location if you have that available. Otherwise, let's just hit done and go to the next screen. Alright, so this is the file system setup. So this is where we're getting into the kind of the meat and getting things going. If you're not familiar, if this is your first time going through setting up Ubuntu server on your system, you can leave the highlighted selection, the default, and just hit enter, or you can choose the LVM setup, or you can do a manual setup if you're familiar with partitioning and setting up your own drive. Otherwise, if you're not familiar, if you want to just go through the process and get this up and running, you go ahead and select use the entire disk. So whatever hard drive you have in your system, it's gonna partition and use that entire drive. So keep in mind, it's going to destroy any information that's currently on the disk. So for the purpose of this self-help video, we're going to use an entire disk, and let's hit enter. Alright, so now you see it shows us the hard drive available, local disk. We got a 30 gig drive. You might see some stuff highlighted down there before. I've used this in a previous install. So as you can see here, I just have the one disk. So whatever drive, if you have multiple drives, you can just select the drive that you want to install your Ubuntu server on, and then hit enter. Alright, so what it does is it'll auto partition your drive for you with a file system, bootloader, and format you with a root partition with the default ext4 file system. If everything looks okay, you can hit done. If you want to make changes or go back, you can hit reset. But for this video, like I said, leave everything as is. You can simply hit done and hit enter on your keyboard. Alright, now it's giving you the warning here. It's just telling you that it's going to perform a destructive action and that it's going to result in loss of data on the disk, because it's going to be formatted, and it's wanting to say, hey, are you sure? Do you want to continue? You got to hit the arrow down, hit continue, hit enter, and it's going to take you to the profile setup. This is where you're going to set up your username and password for the system. So let's, at this point, go ahead and do that. We'll take some time for you to get that entered here, and we're going to do that on my system as well. Oh, what did I have? Oh, what did I? Oh, server is some fictitious name. I'm just gonna call it test server. Okay, then we're gonna put in a username. Password. Alright, so once you've got your user profile set up, go ahead and tab down on your keyboard to done and then hit enter on your keyboard. Alright, so here you're going to do, it's asking about SSH Setup. In my opinion, I would recommend that you install it just so you have a secure remote way of accessing your server from another machine on your network. So now if you prefer not to, leave it unchecked. But for this purpose, I'm going to install it. I don't have any keys that I need to import on here, so we're gonna tab again down to done and then hit enter. Okay, these are featured server snaps. So if you're not familiar with snaps, it's a universal packaging system mechanism, you can, if you will, that are able to provide lightweight applications. As you can see, there's a lot various different server snaps. If you are familiar with any of these, you can feel free to click and select to install these. If you're not, you don't need to select anything. And for the purpose of this, we're just getting your server up and going. We don't need to select anything additional. So we'll just tab or scroll all the way down to done and then hit enter on your keyboard. And folks, that gets going. This typically takes, I don't know, maybe a few minutes, but it's going to get things going. If you want to take your little small break, feel free to do so. We're going to let this run and get things going here for you and have you a fully functional working Ubuntu server up and running. And as you walk through with us, as you can see, it's fairly simple process. I mean, it's basically entering a few keys. Some of the options we bypassed and skipped because they weren't necessary. A lot of options we left as the default. Otherwise, just setting up the user profile. It doesn't take much to get it set up. All the file system setup process is fairly automated if you just let it partition it yourself. Okay, hold on. I got a call coming in. Excuse me. Sorry, I had a quick business call come in, so sorry we took a slight break. But while that break was going on, we are still running. Our installation is going on. Installation is complete. However, it is we're downloading at this point. The server's downloading some additional security updates, which are crucial and necessary. So we'll let that complete. It looked like it's at step 12 of 13. So it's moving right along. This is normally, you're doing pretty good if you're following along with us. We are installing a fresh Ubuntu server from scratch, so you can walk through. It's very basic, very simple process. So I want you all to get this down, so when it comes time for our long-term release, we'll do a video on upgrading from one long-term release to the next. So if you got this basic process down, doing the upgrade should be, I mean, easy as pie. You know what I mean? So, all right, yeah, it's doing this thing here. Y'all relax, just hang tight. You know, get whatever. You know, if you wanna squeeze and go get your little drink, go do that. And you're not going to miss out on nothing. It's just doing the installation part here on the security updates. And when it's ready to reboot, we can do that. Don't forget, hey y'all, hit that thumbs up button for me. Like and subscribe. Oh, y'all like that? That's my. I get a lot of people turn their head when they hear that Old Spice whistle. But anyway, I'm sorry. Hit that thumbs up. Like, share, subscribe, share this video with everyone. Like I said, this is a basic. You know, there's nothing fancy and nothing complicated in setting these servers up. You know, just going through the motions. You see all the command line stuff running on the screen. Don't let that kind of be afraid of that. Don't let that scare you away from transitioning and moving from a different operating system over to something that can be better and stable for you. That's one thing I will say. Linux is a very stable operating system. The kernels are very stable. So don't be afraid. If you're looking to run your own web server, host something your own self, start dabbling. Just walk through this process here, install your server, and there are a lot of help and tutorial videos on navigating and navigating through the file system, setting up various different server applications. As you saw there earlier on in the process, you had the option to actually install some available featured server snaps that you could just install without having to go out and manually install them on your own. And one particular snap that I do like is the cloud, the Nextcloud snap, which helps convert your server into your own private cloud, similar like Dropbox or Google Drive. You get that set up, and you can have your own storage cloud, which you have control over. So a lot of those are a lot of the benefits of running and hosting your own systems, your own platforms. Just don't use that. You guys got internet connections. We all have these high-speed bandwidth connections, so take advantage of that. If you're running a business, you're a vendor, you want to, sometimes you don't have to rely on, you may not. Well, one thing, you may not have the money to go out and spend for a hosting provider. Especially if you're a small business getting started out. So these things that I'm trying to show you, they help out. You can, and there's once we get this server installed, I'll show you a web-based platform that you can install. It's called WebMan. You can install that to help manage resources on your server. So that's, especially if you're somebody out there, you say, hey, I can walk through, I can set this up, but I'm not still that, I don't know about kind of getting on the command line and the terminal and kind of navigating and doing all those things. I might need some help. You can reach out to me if you need somebody to help you get some of that type of stuff set up. You can reach out to me, hit me up. I'm all on social media, or if you want like a GUI based, like I said, I can show you this. Okay, but I can show you this. It's called WebMan, but we'll get to that later on. Let's continue on here. Look like it's finished. We're at a reboot process here. So once you're complete, looks like let's hit the reboot. Let's hit enter, and it's going to reboot our server for us. Installation is complete. All right, so there we go. So if you got anything in, if you're running a bare metal meaning if just a hard regular, you've got a regular machine that you're installing this on, you're gonna have to eject the disk, take the CD out, or if you're using a thumb drive, take your thumb drive out and remove the installation media and hit enter. All right. So as you can see, I'm running this in a virtual machine, as you all can see. So just to keep you up to speed, what we did, we started with a fresh install of Ubuntu, went through each screen process, and we kind of explained each screen, what needs to be done at each screen, and the options, what they are, what you can do, and to get your server installed, partitioned, and up and running. So look like it's completely up. Those are some initial boot up sequences there that goes on. It won't interfere with you logging in. It's actually at the login screen. So as you can see there, so now we should be able to log in with our new user that I created there. Oh, did I type the I think I typed the password in wrong. Darn it. Oh. Oh, did I just... Okay, there we go. Thought I almost forgot what I typed in. Alright, so we're logged in. And as you can see here, there are some... security updates are good, but there are some software updates. Typically, so you have a fresh, a good, a clean, up-to-date system. We're going to go ahead and we're going to update our server. So the commands you want to do here to update your server is sudo. So this actually initiates a super user for you. So you want to type in sudo, sudo space apt dash get, and then you want to update. Make sure your repository cache is is updated. It's going to prompt you for the user password, so put that in. Right? That didn't take long. Now you're going to go ahead and update your software, and that's just the same command, sudo apt dash get space update. Oh, I'm sorry. We just update. I'm sorry. Upgrade. Look at me. My mind spaced out. Upgrade. So backspace delete update and put upgrade. UPGRADE upgrade. And you're going to hit enter. And it's going to tell you following a list of packages that it shows that are going to be upgraded. It'll give you the needed amount of archive space, and it tells you the amount of how much data it's going to go out and grab, I should say. And then after that, it's going to tell you how much disk space that's going to take up. So it says, do you want to continue, Y, or an N? You want to say yes. Just a little quick trick. If you don't want to have to, you just updating, everything's good. You want to you don't have to hit enter. You can actually, and this is just a little sidebar. Let me hit Control C to cancel real quick. You can, after you typed in sudo apt-get space upgrade. If you hit the space bar dash and then Y, that just signifies you pressing yes. So we're going to do that. Bam, and it starts the upgrade automatically for you. That is neither here. You can hit yes. I just thought I'd show that. I mean, that's neither here nor there. I don't know. So that's going to upgrade your server. The server software. Any software on your server that was, scheduled or had update releases for it. So that shouldn't take long. It wasn't that many. We'll roll through this, and it's always good. If you got several updates, it's always good just to reboot your server. Make sure everything's nice, comes up nice and clean. Yeah, the new Ubuntu, you guys, I'm pretty excited. There's on the 20 LTS release. I use server and the desktop version, so I'm a pretty avid user of Ubuntu, have been for years. So I'm excited about the upcoming release myself. Ubuntu there's a lot of different flavors out there. Y'all, what's some of you all's favorite Ubuntu kind of spin-off flavors that you guys use? I know they've got the Ubuntu Studio, KDE, GNOME, the GNOME versions. So what kind of alternative versions of Ubuntu do you guys use? You guys just use a straight up version, or do you guys kind of use a lighter weight version or a specific flavor of Ubuntu? All right. Oh, cool. All right. Now I didn't mean to cut you guys off there, but we're done. All right. Okay. Hold on, guys. I got another call coming in here. Y'all guys bear with me. Hold on. I'm sorry. So yeah, we got those coming in, folks. I'm sorry about that. Gotta stay busy, gotta stay with the business, gotta keep that running and going. So keeps me running, keeps me moving. All right, so our server's good. Looks like the updates have completed. Let's go ahead and do a reboot. So, and it's just simply typing in reboot, REBOOT. Look, I'm typing too fast. Alright, that's going to reboot our server. Alright, sweet. Looks good. Our server's back up. Let's go ahead and log in. And there we have it. We're logged in. 0 packages, 0 security updates. Our server's completely updated. So now I did mention about the web-based interface, WebMan. So I wanna install that real quick here for you, show you for those out there, because I want this to run and work as smoothly as possible for you. So this is out there for you folks. There's some folks out there that are familiar with the command line, will get on the terminal, don't have any problem kind of maneuvering and navigating for you. Or there's some that you're very new to this, so I want to walk you through if you aren't familiar with working or navigating the terminal, just showing you how the basic process goes and getting your server up and running. So once you're at that, you say, hey man, I still don't, I'm not too astute with the command line. I'm still trying to get used to it. I mean, is there a way? I know it doesn't come with a GUI. However, there are some options out there for you. So I want to give you that option here. And I'm gonna SSH into this server now. That's something I can show you here real quick. So to SSH into that new server that we just installed here, I'm gonna minimize this. What's our IP address here? So make sure you do have your IP address. So I'm going to SSH into this new server. Okay, it's going to ask you, it's going to about the authenticity of the host. It's just giving you the that's the key to accept, the SSH key. So go ahead and hit yes. Okay, now it's going to prompt you for the password to that server. So type that in. What am I? Okay, what am I? Okay, what am I typing something in wrong? Am I going crazy here? Oh, yeah. Okay, that's probably why some of you all don't like, because you end up with typos. Look at that. I put booby, not Bobby. Alright, that's better. There we go. And now we're in there. So I'm gonna minimize this server window for us briefly here. So, and what we mentioned was the web-based interface for managing your server, and that was called WebMan, which I'm going to show you that here. You can simply get to that by doing an internet search. Type in WebMan, and you want to go to basically webmin.com and then hit the downloads. And we are on Ubuntu, which is a Debian based Ubuntu system, so we want this. And in order to grab that, see, what I can do is right click on it, and I am going to copy that link address. Okay, once you do that, come back to that server that you just SSH'd into, and you're going to type in ls, so nothing's there, and we're going to type in wget. This is wget will actually go out and grab this package for us from whatever link we put in. So wget, if you hold down the shift and control button at the same time and then tap the V button, it'll paste that in that you just copied. So wget, we're going to grab that and then hit enter. Alright, and where are you at? Alright, there you are. Guess I guess y'all don't sometimes not like gotta see my face, do you? I'll leave it up here though. There we go, corner you up. Alright, so it went out, it grabbed that deb file for us. There we go, webmin at deb. Alright, so now we want to install this package. To install this, you're going to type in dpkg space dash the letter I for install, and then webmin. If you type in the first couple of characters and then tap the tab, it'll populate in. It knows the directory that we're in. Alright, so we're going to do that. Oh, let me go back. Remember, we got to do things as super user. So let's type in sudo. It's going to prompt us for that password. Alright, that's our user password. Hit enter. Okay, it's going to try to unpack that and install this WebMan for you. And like I said, WebMan, this is a web-based, it's a web-based interface you access from a web browser you can use to manage and kind of do some configuration on your new server here. So this is kind of an extension. We've got the server set up, but this is a little add-on piece I wanted to show you all. So make it simple. You want just keep it simple. So this is normal. What you're going to do, you're going to see this. So it looked like it aired out on us here. So there's a command you're going to type in. It's missing some of these, which are dependencies. So we're going to install these missing dependencies. You're going to type in sudo. Remember, super user. You're going to type in apt dash get and space dash f space and then the word install. Alright, so it's going to go out here and get these additional packages for us. Let's hit yes. Okay, and once it grabs those additional packages, it will go ahead and just continue the process of setting up WebMan. As you can see right there, it says setting up WebMan there. Alright, so that looks good. Everything's going so far so good. And if you're still sticking with us, what we've done, we've installed Ubuntu Server on a bare metal or a virtual machine. Fresh face install for all you out there. We wanted to make this simple and easy. In preparation, we got a new upcoming long-term release version that'll be coming out this April. So I wanted to show you the basic process, stepping through setting up your server from scratch. And later on, we'll do a video once they release the LT release. We'll show you the distribution upgrade. Alright, so that's complete. As you can see here, WebMan install complete. You can now log into your server. This is a DNS address. If you can type in the name. I like to just grab the IP address if you type that in. If you don't remember your IP address, your server, you can type in ifconfig, or actually that's kind of getting defunct. The new command is IP address. So IP add, show you the IP address. Here it is of our server. Alright, you can highlight that. I'm going to highlight and copy that. Copy. Now, so what did it say in that terminal? Right here, you're going to go to https:// your server, which is our IP, and then 10,000, port 10,000. So let's do that. https:// https:// of our IP address of our server, 10,000. Hit enter. Okay, it's about the security key. You want to hit whatever browser you're in. You want to accept or accept this key. It's just the internal certificate coming from the WebMan server. So I'm running Google Chrome, so you want to hit advanced and then go to proceed. Go ahead and click proceed, and it takes us here. Takes us to our WebMan interface, and you want to log in with that user that you created on your server, which was Bobby D9, and the password. And as they say in the magic shows, voila. That, as you can see, our server's up and running. Now check this out. You get stats. Very intuitive. If you're, like I said, this has been a point A to point B setup of Ubuntu Server with a functioning, running, web-based management interface. And so that's it, man. That's what I got. That's what we doing. I hope you liked it. I hope it's been informative for you. Don't forget, like, share this video, subscribe to my channel. I hope you guys, I hope you guys got something out of it. I know there's a lot of videos out there, but I wanted to make something real simple. I got a few subscribers to my channel. We're growing. We keep in mind, hey, my number, we're still 1,000. That's the goal for the year. So like I said, subscribe, share this channel with your friends and family, anyone that you think can benefit if they just want to know some basic Linux understanding and basic Linux terminology, basic Linux help. That's what we're here for. I'm JC. I'm the host. This has been Be With Television, the hostess with the mostest, baby. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Leave your comments down below for me. I'll holler at you. See you out. Holla, holla on the 33rd.